Welcome everybody to a look at the sixth film in Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe box set. So yeah, we've now had an update, by the way, with the Awakening of the Beast, which, as I mentioned in my previous review of the previous film in this box set, that the subtitles in that film vanished after the 32-minute mark. Our video have addressed that now, and we'll be sending out a replacement disc at some point in February. So if you have ordered, do have this box set, then if you've ordered it from our video directly, then you don't have to do a thing. Although if you have changed address since ordering it and getting it in the post, then yeah, you will have to inform them of that. But if you got it from a third-party retailer like Amazon or HMV, then you will have to contact our video on their site directly and provide the relevant information. So yeah, they have told us about that. So yeah, the sixth film in this box set is When the Gods Fall Asleep from 1972. So this clocks in at 78 minutes long, and it's about Prophet Finis Hominis, who was in the previous film, who escapes again from jail and resumes his mission of saving humanity from its moral ruin. So yeah, there is always a danger when it comes to a sequel that it will retread ground and therefore lack originality. But unfortunately for this effort, that is the least of this film's problems, that it is painfully dull for large swathes of its running time while lacking a satisfying conclusion, unlike its predecessor. So its predecessor had at least two characters that Finis Hominis met along his journey and basically influenced them in such a way that their lives got better, but then they joined together to become a couple that were actually happy. That was a satisfying conclusion, amongst other things, the reveal that he'd escaped from an insane asylum and such. But this has none of that. Unfortunately, what it does have is only a reasonably start in terms of its plot, a cool poster, the potential to expand upon the prior film, and a title that piques interest, but nothing else whatsoever. There is a lot of padding to the plot. There are scenes that are stretched out and really rather quite boring. There are fight scenes in it that are just woefully choreographed. Just look like he told people to just basically hit each other or look like you're fighting, and we'll just shoot as much as possible and take from there. And yeah, it just looks absolutely idiotic, quite frankly. The plot itself is also repetitive. Basically, Finis Hominis comes up to a group of people after they've got some problems and basically just says a few lines and then everything's solved, basically. And yeah, that is just really rather quite boring. It has none of the laughs in the prior film either, even though the prior film wasn't chock full of laughs. It did still have some. And its attempt at being shocking with a scene where live chickens are eaten just comes across as desperate. It's not shocking, to be honest, personally, especially if you've seen some of, your Cannibal Holocaust films or whatnot, and this is rather quite tame in that regard, even though it does come with a warning before it happens. Yeah, it's just a really rather desperate move on the director's part, quite frankly. Thankfully, though, it is short, but it sure did feel longer. So, unfortunately, a new low point for the box set. Obviously, I wasn't a massive fan of the anthology horror film Inside the Mind of Coffin Joe, but at least that had three stories to it. I might not have liked the second story or found the first and third to have some elements lacking to them, but at least it did have stories, whereas this really does not. And yeah, it's just quite underwhelming, unfortunately. So yeah, it does have a cool poster, like I said, and shares a disc with the second film, well, the seventh film in this box set. And yeah, does have a 4K restoration though from the 35mm film print. The only known existing element as well, and it really does show in some regards because there's a lot of lines down the screen in the color scenes. There are some of the black and white scenes that look like they're out of focus. So yeah, it looks like a quite a degraded film element, but obviously with it being the only known existing film element, then they've really not got much to work with, unfortunately. But they've done the best in terms of restoring it. It's got the original lossless mono audio from 35mm print. It's got optional English subtitles. Then you've got the demonic surrealism of Coffin Joe, a new interview with scholar and filmmaker Virginie Salevi, exploring the parallels between the work of Jose Mujica Marins and the European and South American surrealist movements. Then you got Delirium, Surrealism and Vision, a new interview with author Jack Sargent. Then we've got Moika in the Snow. Tonight I Incarnate at Sundance. Footage of Marins attending the Sundance Film Festival in 2001. And then A Blind Date for Coffin Joe, a short film by Raymond Coffin Joe Castile. Then we got the no, we don't have a theatrical trailer for this film either, to be honest. We only have a theatrical trailer for the second film on this disc. So, yeah, really rather quite underwhelming, to be honest. I really rather quite enjoyed the previous film, even though it had its issues. It certainly was something that was at least different and enjoyable and had a satisfactory ending, whereas this just has none of that, unfortunately. So, yeah, a bit of a shame, really. Hopefully the quality picks up. But yeah, it's put a real downer on buying this box set, really, to be honest, with this being as bad as it is. So yeah, unfortunately, only 2 stars out of 5. I don't like to be negative on a film. I do try and be as open-minded as possible, but when it's a film that is retreading the original, the prior film so much, while lacking any of that film's positives, it just, yeah, just becomes a nothing kind of film, quite frankly. So yeah, but nonetheless, if you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.